Hola, America. It's old Sean Boy. Just coming down, been writing some things down about where we are exactly in our society right now and how close we are to what we call civil war and hatred because of the caricatures that we call each other and the inability to be able to talk to each other. When a society stops talking to each other, especially politically, the civility collapses. Several dangerous dynamics begin to form. It's less like it's like a switch being flipped and more like a slow poison being put into our bloodstream. Echo chambers become identity bunkers. Silence doesn't stop opinions. It forces them to retreat where they won't be challenged. People stop speaking to each other and start speaking about each other. You're all stupid. You're brainwashed. You're a Nazi. Caricatures that you made up villains inside our head that aren't real because of the propaganda. Nothing I say matters. They don't listen. You know the drill. Once politics become tribal identity, persuasion dies. All that is left is recruitment and warfare. And extremists take the microphone. Moderate voices rely on dialogue. Extremists thrive when dialogue collapses. If reasonable people stop talking, the loudest voices are the rage merchants, the fear peddlers, the ones who profit off of conflict. Exactly where we are at right now, and the fake moral outrage, the propaganda. You're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you're a snowflake, on and on. The caricatures, and so we're painting hatred instead of civility and talking to each other. It's the digital version of leaving a kid unsupervised and then wondering why your couch is on fire. The enemy becomes faceless. Civility is now how we remember that other humans exist on the other side of our opinions. When we abandon it, we're not debating humans anymore. We are battling caricatures. It is a very short moral step from I disagree with you, you're a dangerous threat to democracy, you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, you shouldn't exist, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the assassination attempts of Donald Trump, Steve Scalise, on and on down the line. This is where we're at right now. History is full of examples, and none of them have a happy ending. Problems get solved not by, and in the end, problems get solved by force, not compromise. A society that cannot talk eventually learns to push. Courts instead of conversations. Cancellation, cancellation society instead of persuasion. Legislation as a cultural weapon, weaponizing intelligence agencies, going after your political opponents, force in the streets when institutions crack. When people stop trying to convene, they start trying to coerce. Shared reality collapses. Civil discourse is how we collectively decide what is true, what matters, how to act on it. Without it, reality becomes a choice of your own adventure book, where every group has their own hero. That's when a society becomes fragile, because if we can't agree on facts, we can't agree on solutions, are only enemies. So why does civility matter? Civility isn't politeness. It's not to be nice or to argue. It's the hard discipline of listening without surrendering, disagreeing without dehumanizing, attacking ideals without attacking the soul. Civility is how conflict stays political instead of becoming personal, tribal, or violent. How much violence have we seen? This is what's happening in America. We're doing no different than what the Nazis did in Germany. Calling Republicans fascists, pigs. Republicans calling liberals snowflakes. They're lunatics. They don't listen. Arguing politics without civility, my friends, is like trying to fix a car by screaming at the engine, and then you end up with the same problems, plus with high blood pressure. If you want, I'm going to talk to you about caricatures. You see, caricatures, the moment you stop seeing a person and start seeing a cartoon in politics, a character, it isn't just a funny drawing with a big nose. It's an over-amplified simplification identity we assign to whole groups so we don't have to think about them as individuals. All liberals are hypocrites. All conservatives are heartless. Everyone who votes X is a sheep. Everyone who votes Y is a villain. It's mental junk food. Cheap, satisfying, only nutritionally worthless to our society. How caricatures are born? Caricatures thrive where nausea dies. They are created by distance, not knowing people outside your bubble. Media incentives. Outrage sells better than empathy. Fear, complexity feels threatening. Tribal identity, us versus them, is far easier than we the people. And this is where we're headed, America. This is where we are at right now. To destroy the American dream, who we are as people. And we have fallen for it 110%. Understanding is effort. Dismantle is effortless. While caricatures are dangerous, characters often flatten people into symbols. And you can hurt symbols without feeling guilty. Wars, purges, genocide, internment camps, segregation all have one thing in common. Someone successfully convinced enough people that a group of human beings was not quite human. And what do we hear from liberals all the time? Republicans aren't human. They're a threat to democracy. They need to be taken down. They need to be put in camps. They need to be this. It's caricatures. Caricatures. Characters make dialogue impossible. You cannot compromise with a character. You cannot reason with a stereotype. You cannot emphasize with the villain you have invented. If that's all that you see, a snowflake, a fascist, elite, a redneck, an immigrant, a criminal, a welfare leech, then you're no longer conversing with your fellow citizen. You're fighting a projection. And that's where we are at. That's where we are at. Politics, political characters are like funhouse mirrors. You laugh at everyone else's reflection and then wonder why society looks so distorted. This is where we're at, America. This is how close we are, America. And we are allowing it because our politicians up there don't give a flying about us. Get it together, America, because we are losing our country inside and out.